Welcome back, guys. Episode 2. You know my name, not my story. Episode 2, Vol 2. I'm here joined today with Patrick, Ozzy, Jaden, and myself, Kay. Yeah, let's go, guys.
Yeah, and just to kick it off, I've got a question for you. So, nowadays we hear a lot about toxic masculinity, and that's obviously something that's been thrown around a lot. But how does toxic masculinity affect men's mental health?
Do you know what it is? Like some people, like it's just how they are or how they're like brought up, in the sense of like that's what they believe is correct or the correct way for them to like carry themselves around like society, social media, and so on. But when you've now shown everyone else, oh, this is what I'm doing, and everyone's screaming, oh yeah, toxic masculinity, you're getting all this hate and everything, is like, well, I didn't know anything else other than this before. And sometimes like people may be like, cool, like I've never run into this problem outside of like social media, but when there's something like, oh no, this guy's now toxic, he's toxic, blah blah blah, he does this, he does that. So that could be like, oh, try to talk to someone now. There's a thing where it's like, ooh, I already know what he's on and I'm not a fan of that. And trying to like drag you through the mud because of that, or the way you see this, the way you see that. But generally speaking, it could be a thing where you're like that because maybe that's how your dad was, or that's how your uncle was, or the father figure you had was like that. Do you get it? And you saw the way they maneuvered through their life and like what happened. So you might have like adopted that onto yourself. So that really plays a big part, and especially with some guys, like for example, could be like the sweetest guy, this, that, and the other, but there's certain factors that could drive you. For example, like we'll talk about like mental health, like there's certain things that could drive you to be like, you know what, I'm tired of being this like nice guy, like everyone's just like stepping over me. I'm gonna just put this like piece of armor on. Oh, do you want to talk about food? No. Do you want to talk about this? No. Do you want to do this? No. Like, uh, just fuck off. Just do this. Just do that. And it's like some guys find it like more peaceful to be just like their toxic self, just to lay it all out rather than just bottling it up and all that. But now that you've had this change where you've like seen yourself being toxic in a way, or as people say, like toxic in a way, is that now people want to hate me for who I am now. But when I was who I was before, guys didn't love me then, didn't show me love then. So it's like, is a sticky one to be like, oh, he's toxic because he doesn't want to, for example, buy a girl a gift on her birthday during the talking stage. Like he said,
Amen.
like he's like, oh, why would I buy you a gift if you're not my girl? Like, yeah, cool, I might be like seeing you as that person maybe in the future, but as of right now, we've only been speaking for what, 2 3 weeks, and you expecting me to be blowing like big bucks on your birthday. Is like some guys be like, nah, it don't work like that. Other guys will be, we've gone arcade, we've gone this, we've gone that, we've gone hotel, booked you this, I paid for that. And it's just like, be like, oh yeah, his standard or the way he treats women is very shit because he doesn't want to do so and so. That's literally just the way certain guys view it, and certain guys just generally don't see it being wrong. So when they're just consistently getting bombarded, it's like, what do you guys want from me? Do you get it?
Sorry to cut you there, bro. I agree with you 100% because I feel like the way society works right now, yeah, everyone's, especially females, is too focused on the rappers, footballers, people that really got it, and most guys ain't really got it. But they're stretching the last couple hundred two bills to take a girl on a date, and then that same girl is gonna end up possibly going on another date the next week, and then where that leave you? So guys are looking up to artists. I'm not gonna name some artists, but guys look up to artists and they're taking girls Mayfair restaurants, flying them
Shard.
out, and they're taking girls here, and they're doing this for girls, and then that's the same way it's like the girls are seeing it as well. So the girls are like, if these artists are doing, these people are doing it, my man should be doing that. And then
Mm.
the guys seeing that, they're like, if I don't do this, I'm gonna lose my girl. So guys are doing extra and beyond, which not really like them because they ain't really got it like that, to do extra and beyond. And that's the toxic mentality. That's the toxic mentality of men need to understand you. Sorry, men need to understand you don't really need to, as a person, force yourself or come out of character to impress someone. If someone likes you, they like you for you. And if they don't like you, you need to tell them bye. Because when push comes to shove, only the real are left, I say.
Following on from like what Leo was saying in terms of his question, obviously when it comes to toxic masculinity, it's stereotypically associated with like manliness and like one of the I guess common terms in when it's associated with mental health is you might hear the term, "Oh, you have to man up," and that can be quite damaging and cause a lot of harm. And in terms of young men or men in general, even talking about their mental health, what's your perspectives on that term? And I'll put that question to Patrick.
Good. You said man up. So it's basically like I think we need to a man, a male is a human being. Human beings have emotions. They have desires. So I think society has cultivated this view that as a male, you're not allowed to show emotion. You're not allowed to express yourself because if you do so, it's weak. If you do so, you're soft. Like we just said, man up. What does it mean to man up? But being a man, first of all, is being honest, being accountable, knowing who you are. There's a large issue in terms of insecurity issues plays a part as well, because if you're insecure in terms of who you are, if you suffer from a lack of identity, then what you're going to try and do is live up to people's expectations or society's expectations of what a male or man is supposed to act like. So even though within yourself there's stuff that you don't want to do because you're scared of how people may perceive you, you start to portray a certain image. Oh, I need to be tough. I need to act tough. I can't let no one speak to me in any kind of way. I'm going to be aggressive. I'm going to be violent. But really and truly, you may not want to do that. So when they say men up, sometimes they're talking about just you not showing no emotion, not showing no expression. And once you do that, what happens is it's emotional constipation, I will call it. And if that builds up over time, that builds up over years, you then unleash it sometimes, and it comes out as violence. It comes out as aggression. So even when we talk about, we discuss like social issues that evolve around gang culture, not just amongst young people, but even certain grown men who are still stuck in that lifestyle, 25 plus, 30 plus, 40 plus, and still stuck in that lifestyle. That's a severe case of mental health that they're dealing with. Why? Because they're trying to live up to a certain image. They feel like to be a man, you need to be hard. You need to keep a street reputation. You can be young and engage in some of that, but once you get older, you're supposed to mature and grow up and say, you know what, let me leave that to the side. Being a man means I can be honest about myself. I can express myself and know that I'm not weak. It's actually weak to pretend to be something that you're not. It is that. It's actually weak to be controlled by other people's opinions, including people who have no idea who you are. They don't pay your bills. You could die today and their life goes on.
Mm-hmm.
So when we say man up is actually a good thing to man up, but it's the perception that some males have when they hear that term, man up. So it's the translation that's causing the issue, because they're translating it as in physical appearance, being a stand-up man and looking strong. No, man up means be a man, be accountable first and foremost, be honest first and foremost, and to not be afraid of communicating. That's what being a real man is, like being responsible, being accountable, and being really honest, because otherwise you're just pretending to be something you're not, and by doing so you're being fake, you know. Yeah. So man up to me means being true to yourself and honest with yourself.
Yeah, that's powerful. Just going on with that theme, and that's a question for everyone. I'd like to hear from all of you guys. What do you feel like is the most difficult thing in being a man? Maybe in your scenario, young man, whatever it is, just being a man. What do you feel like is the most difficult thing?
Expectations. Expectation is the biggest thing. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, but every time it plays on your soul. So people might expect you to live a certain way, and you perceive yourself to people as a certain way, so now you've got to uphold that expectation of yourself. If you seem to be this guy that gets it in, that's very talkative, that's very, let's say, outgoing, life of the party, now people expect you to be like that 24/7. So when you do go through sad times and you do go through times, it's a thing where you might not, people expect you to be like that, so you can't show your other side of you. I'll say me personally.
Yeah, like literally going off what you're saying, like I know for me, like, so you guys know, like I like to bust jokes, do this, like just fun, like shits and giggles, doing whatever. But there are days where it's like, cool, I'm going out now. I just want to chill, be quiet, like might not be talking much. Or for example, I'll go to work, I'll be chilling, and I'm hearing, oh, what's wrong? No, nothing. I'm calm. You sure? Yeah, I'm good. I'm like, as soon as that's one person said to me, I already know what the whole shift's gonna turn into. So it's a thing where it's either I can go now, even though I don't want to be the Aussie that's, oh yeah, busting jokes, doing high, blah blah blah, like saying whatever, or I can literally continue how I was, how I came in here. It's really like straight face, just ready to get on with my job. Do I need to do? Go home. But literally, as soon as there's a thing where, oh, I know Aussie said a joke today, it's like, oh, what's wrong? Or I've tripped and you ain't laughed. Oh, what's wrong? Nothing. I just want to be left alone. Like that type of feeling. I know, don't like you guys have probably gone through the same stuff where it's just like, I just want to be here to do what I need to do. Like, and then just having one of those days, it can really like play on you and like other people just being onto you, like just doing stuff like that. It just really doesn't really help in the sense of, how do I say, like on your mental, I'll say, in a way, because they've got this expectation of you to be so and so, but they don't know you're not like that 100%. Because as soon as you've turned your backs to them, said your goodbyes, put your earphones in, and you're just in your zone, like stuff, even little stuff like that can even be like, oh, I saw you on the road where you look like you don't want to be disturbed. No, that's just me chilling, like listen to my music, like little stuff like that. Yeah.
So just kind of following on from Ozzy, your response, and Caden in regards to like expectations, would you say that it was society that sort of put that pressure and expectations, or would you say it's our inner circle and our families that
I'll say inner circle.
put that expectation on you?
I'll say your inner circle and yourself. Me personally, I don't really care what society thinks of me, because wow, I don't care what society thinks of me, because society don't control me. Society don't determine who I'm gonna be in life and what I'm gonna be in my life. So I feel like your inner circle does. So your friends, their comments, their opinions, as a young ethnic person from London, plays a big part. Because I'm not saying it's just London, but I feel like London, because I live in there, it's more crowded. Word gets around that quicker. Everyone knows everyone. So wherever you go, someone eventually does know you. And they automatically, before they know you, have an expectation of you. They say you make an opinion on someone in the first 5 seconds of knowing them. Good or bad. It might be a fresh opinion or an old opinion. So that's my opinion.
And Jaden, what would your perspective be on that in regards to like what's the pressure, what in terms of what Caden and Ozzy said about expectations, yeah.
I don't know, because I'm weird basically, because with me, like I keep myself to myself unless I'm around people like I really trust. 100%. So like with Caden or with Ozzy, like I feel like people even say it, like if you were to meet me by myself,
You don't talk.
Don't talk to
Don't talk.
I keep myself to myself. Like I'm happy
Yeah.
to sit there quiet
That's
like,
the realest thing.
and just chill. And people are like,
You
are
don't
you,
talk.
yeah, like, are you okay? Like,
I've gone out with Jaden and everyone's like, right, how are you two together? Like,
yeah, like, because
Don't make
you,
sense.
opposites.
you talk and you not say a word. I'm saying when it's just me, Jaden, and 1 and 2,
Yeah,
Jaden's talking the most.
Exactly,
Jaden's
yeah.
busting the most, though.
yeah,
But it's this thing where I feel like with society, you don't want people to get the wrong expectation of you, so you don't give them a expectation of you. That makes sense?
but even that is like, it's kind of, I wouldn't say bad, but
No, it is bad. 100%.
I mean, with me anyway, because obviously your first thought would be like, oh, Jaden's not outgoing.
Yeah.
Quiet.
Jaden's quiet, like,
You don't want to be here.
yeah.
You don't want to be
But
here.
it's like, if I was to rock up, like, meet you for your first time, I'm with Ozzy or Caden, it's like, Jaden's a vibe, like, he's cool,
Hey, proper.
like, he's outgoing, whatever. But it's like, yeah, in terms of expectations, I feel like, I wouldn't say other people, I'll say myself. In terms of like only you can expect, like, or only you can judge like how well you're doing in this field or in this, what's the word? In this point of time, if that makes sense. Yeah.
So, you know, with expectations, yeah, I just wanted to explore one thing because I was actually thinking that maybe like 3 years ago, there's this one young person that boxes at the gym I go to. And I used to always like say to him like, oh, you're putting in work, like you're sick, you're this and whatever. And actually one day we had a conversation. He goes, that's actually like a really hard expectation to live up to. Because he goes, sometimes, some days I come in and I don't want to put in work or I kind of want to work like on a medium level or whatever.
But you can't.
Mm.
Once you show people you or what they perceive to be you, you can never go back from that. So if you show people, let's say, a bad side of you, people always gonna see you as that bad side of you. You can never maybe in the future, but you can't change that. So same way, if you show people your work ethic, your punctuality, your maturity, you can never drop that standard. Cause like, hold on, what's that about? And then all the good goes out the window. The second people see you slipping up, they're ready for you on the bus, literally. So you need to keep a certain level of maturity and expectations that people have of you. I say personally.
Even with like football, because like I play American football, like there's a lot of it. Like as soon as someone finds out, it's like, oh yeah, you play American football. You sure it's not rugby? No, it's not rugby.
Mhm.
Like same questions like, oh, that's with the headgear, blah blah blah. Oh, they play it in London, they play in England. I said, yeah, it's quite big in Europe, blah blah blah, and like let them know what I'm doing and everything. Is like that also plays on me in the world, in a sense, when I told them, oh, what teams I'm playing for, what I'm doing this, what I'm doing that, and they're like, oh yeah, that's good, and in my head is like, this isn't really, how do I say it, that big of a milestone for me, if that makes sense. Is more or less of a thing where it's like, cool, I needed to like do this and do that and play for this team, so I'm able to make, how do I say, go through the next stages to play for so and so, or to get to so and so in like a football career as well. So when like I do tell people, or they do ask for an update, and I tell them, oh yeah, I'm doing this now, and they're like, oh yeah, that's sick, and I'm like, oh, okay, now they might be expecting some next big news, like, oh, I'm going to America or something like that, but it's not as easy as it like said and done. Do you get it? So it's like just little things of, like the guy in your gym was saying that, oh, it puts pressure on him to do so and so, because when I say to the man, them, oh, you're trying to go thing, I'm going training. For example, the weekend I'm going over to going to Manchester, I've got 2-day training camp. They're like, oh, okay, yeah, do your thing, but it's like, okay, these are expecting me to be doing the most, like the way they do it on TV, like, bro, I'm still like getting used to the sport as well. So it's like, just like, there's a lot to take in as well. Like, I feel like, especially being from where we are, or the area we are, when we do see someone doing good, it's like everyone, in a sense, you come, that role model is like, okay, is he gonna make out the hood? Oh yeah, he made it out the hood. That's our guy from so and so.
Is he gonna forget us?
London, yeah. Oh yeah, literally, is he gonna forget us? Is he gonna come back and open something up for the community? Like, is a lot that like plays on your mind as well. So yeah, or plays on my mind even.
That's kind of like I was saying, that only you should be able to like judge where you are in this place in time, because like when you started it, like it was just like something that you saw
On
like
the side, yeah.
yeah, like let me play this, like it's cool, I watch it, it's like I want to get into this. Then you got into the team, like yeah, like bro, you're doing good.
That's
like,
an achievement.
you
by
got into a
itself.
team that playing this sport.
That's an
That's what I'm
achievement.
saying.
That's an
That.
achievement.
And then you took it even higher now. It's like only you should like. Obviously, we'll see and be like, yeah, Ozzy's doing his thing, but you need to hear that and think, cool, they're just talking like that. That's how they see it, but only I know how far I want to take this, or we'll take it. You get
100%.
And just following on from what we've been discussing now, do you think that the expectations and the pressure of society, the things that you have to live up to, do you think that could add to the decline in mental health or the decline in your emotions or how you feel?
I thought, yeah, emotions, 100%. If people stop having expectations of other people, and people stop trying to uphold expectations, your emotions could be more stable because you're more calm. Like mentally, you're more calm. I feel like.
I mean, I don't know. It depends on the person, really, innit? Because, like I said, I don't really care what people think about me. But then you got people like, say, the Euros when Saka,
Yeah,
Rashford, Sancho all missed their penalties, got so much abuse. But then
the World Cup.
the next season, Saka's come out like a new man, whereas Sancho and Rashford have come out more slower, like recovering from all of that abuse. So I think it just depends on the person, really,
No,
and your support system as well.
I thought that's the best example. The Euros, them three black boys, well, they were boys then, them three black men got the maddest abuse. Racially, it was disgusting. No one can disagree about that. Then now come the World Cup, they're the saints. For the same country that abused them, they're saints for them. So the expectation of them three boys, it might not have been their skin colour, but as men at whole, it was bad because, yeah, they missed. So what? In the World Cup, the captain, he missed the goal that would have took us through to the quarters or semis.
Didn't hear nothing.
Didn't hear a word. And Saka still got abuse for the World Cup. Hey, big up Saka though. That's my general. He's a real... No, big up Saka. I rate him.
Bellingham scored a goal and Grealish was on the newspapers.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Come on. I think one game, I think it was 4 black men that scored and then 1 white guy
Yeah,
scored.
that was the game.
Yeah.
But yeah, even being black as well, like, plays into it a lot because,
To get there and be black on the England squad.
yeah, it's like mad. But even like as a whole, like even going down the street and all that, or doing good and you're black as well, it's like, okay, yeah, don't throw this away. Like, we've heard of a lot of guys from the ends, like, black doing this, doing that, then get involved and they're going to think, yeah, he's ruined his chances, so he was so good, blah, blah, blah. And then the fact that he's black just plays into it, like, even more. So it's like, I don't know, you can see all these stories of guys going wherever, getting all these chances, maybe like in sport, getting released, going wherever, like going all the way to Birmingham to go play and all that stuff. But like, as a black male trying to like achieve greatness, I feel like when you do hit that brick wall, it's very hard to like recover from it because it's like got people beside you. It's like, oh yeah, what are you doing now? Oh yeah, I got released from thing. I'm just trying to think, and like the look in some people's faces when it's like, oh, like just see their face drop. It's like for some people, like it digs deep because like, he was expecting me to say that I'm on 5 figures by now, doing so and so and so. Especially with what he's seen and what he's heard me doing, like I was saying, like you hear them doing this and this for so and so team, but behind closed doors you don't really know how it is. Like they could be getting maybe like 5 minutes a game. Like even though it's like great, you're getting game time, but to them it's like Jay was saying, you can't really, you're the only person that could judge yourself in that moment, because to them that 5 minutes is like, nah, I should be on 20, 25, 30, do you get it? Or playing the whole half. So yeah, like just being able to do that, or being able to get to a place as like a black male, like had in the last episode, he was saying that his colleague got director. Stuff like that is like, just like love to see it, to see that you're saying that it is achievable for one of us to like get up there and do what we need to do.
Just going back to mental, do you want to say anything, by the way?
No.
Yeah, just going back to mental health, so like just picking up on what you said earlier, and I've got another one as well, but do you feel like when it comes to mental health support, do you feel like it's more difficult to be taken seriously as a black person when it comes to mental health than someone else, per se?
Yeah, I feel like some people might see it as being like a bit odd, because it's like, oh, maybe like, for example, next 5 years I could be going speaking out saying, oh, I'm going through this, going through that. It's like, oh, like we never knew. Like it always seemed so jolly, joyful, whatever. And it could go back to, like I said, how you're raised. Like I said, like if your parents or whatever male figure you had wasn't really talking about their feelings, you kind of adopt that way yourself. So it's like when you're going through stuff, if you're seeing your older brothers, maybe, oh, it's whatever, he might just go sleep or he might drink. Let me try this, let me try that. So
You try to cover up with other aspects.
yeah, and it's like, it may get to a point where it's like, oh, yeah, I can't do this no more. Let me actually go out and seek help. It's like, oh, this young black boy from East London, like, knew him, is going through all this shit. So like, and to be able to try to talk to someone else that doesn't even look like you as well. For me personally, I find it weird. As much as I like to talk to people, it is a breath of fresh air to like being able to like express yourself to someone. But I'm less inclined to try open up to someone that doesn't really look like me, or like, cool, they can look like me, but if they're not really from the ends, they won't really understand what I'm saying. Because like, I feel like, especially with getting help, I'd rather have you like understand at least a portion of it than like you just nod your head and be like, oh, so why do you think this? Why do you think that? Like, I need to be able to tell you, oh, okay, I live in East London, I live in Newham, and I live so-and-so in Newham. And you're like, okay, you already like know what I'm going just from the area. So I'm like, cool. And then I'm telling you all these certain aspects about my life as well. It's like, okay, yeah, I know London as well, so you're having to travel so-and-so in London for work, maybe, and coming back to that area could be mad at night, could
Crazy.
be mad and all that. It's not just,
Safe.
oh, my area's bad.
Nah.
Like, every area's got that certain problem, but for you to be like, oh yeah, okay, I know what you're talking about, like, as in,
I grew up there as well.
yeah,
Yeah.
or you've seen the blog pages, like, or family lives there, like you're there here and there, like you can see what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
This road's locked off because of stabbing, shooting.
Have you guys heard of something called secondary trauma? Do you guys know what that is?
What's that?
Title.
Secondary trauma.
Secondary trauma.
Nah, so secondary trauma is something like, for instance, let's say like your friend's been through like a traumatic experience, and then they explain you what the experience is and did all of that stuff, and you hear it out, and you kind of experience secondhand trauma from that.
Yeah. 100%.
And I feel like, because obviously you're talking about Newham, so I grew up in Newham as well, and I feel like in Newham there's a lot of things that happen all the time, and sometimes what some people might not realize is that they might be carrying some of that secondary hand trauma, like things happen to the friends or something else, and they tell you about the stories, and you might have some of that with you without being conscious of it.
Yeah, I feel like as an ethnic person, not even black, Asian, even if it's white, ultra oriental, it doesn't matter about your skin color. that doesn't mean you can relate to me. You need to be from where I'm from as an area. I can relate to probably a white boy, probably a black boy in Essex. Cause we didn't grow up the same. He grew up on the same block as me. He probably even grew up on the area that my area don't even like. And he could probably relate to me a lot more than a boy that lives in deep in Essex. He doesn't know about hearing police sirens, let alone it being normal, about roads getting locked off and you've got to divert.
Do you know what's crazy? I think the other day, where was I? I think when we went to cover, I said, you know what's crazy? I ain't heard one police helicopter.
Yeah.
And it's mad, like,
or ambulance.
it becomes like,
Like to notice that.
yeah,
bro,
like,
is mad.
I'm like, raw, like, the nights are quiet, like, there's no helicopters going around, like, and to me, it's just normal, like,
Yeah.
like, be on PS4 party, what's that sound? Oh, helicopter.
Oh, cool.
Or I'll be like, what do you mean? They'll be like, oh, the helicopter. Yeah, once every 2 weeks, like, that's normal.
But do you guys understand that a lot of the things that you experience sometimes, it's like they're not actually normal experiences?
No,
Yeah.
it's not.
Yeah.
It's not normal to see a car drive past and you're both staring at each other. It's not normal to see a ped drive past and you're thinking, rah, is that it? Or to see two guys on a ped. That's not normal. It's not normal to see a police and feel nervous. And you're the most innocent person ever. It's not normal to go to certain areas and not feel safe. It's not normal to go outside of London and feel safe. Why can't I feel safe in my own area? I'm going to, like you two, you're at Coventry, you didn't hear a sound.
Like I
But
was
in
saying, like,
London, your own area that you grew up in, you're watching out for any car that's not a new plate or that's not a new body car because you're thinking with tints. Now you're looking at the car and then that person gets defensive. It's a bounce back thing, or to automatically not like a person because they grew up in a postcode that is 2 minutes from your yard. That is,
Or because they look like you.
oh yeah, because you look like me.
crazy.
Like, it's dumb. Or to go out shopping and you can't wear your nice clothes. Or to go to certain events.
Can't go out in a tracksuit without trying to, like, seeing the other guys getting stopped. Bro,
It's long.
switching up style for what?
Or you have to wear a tracksuit just to fit in. Because if you don't wear a tracksuit, now you're a target. If guys see you in jeans and a white tee
Clarks.
and the Clarks, you're a neek. You're an easy target for everyone. But if guys see the exact same guy in Air Force Ones, blacked out tracksuit, black coat, they're thinking, cool, let's be cautious around him. But really, that's the nicest shit you probably ever meet. But he has to feel, right, let me put on, like you said, the shield, disguise, this cape, to show other guys that, yeah. But that's not none of that's normal. London's not normal. Newham alone, Newham's not normal. Trust me.
So, I'm down with a charity down south, Big Kid Foundation. We do like the same type of like talks and everything. And I've even said to them, like, I can come down here like to South London, like it could be like late, but I'm calm, like, I'm chilling. As soon as I come up my station, you think there's not pep in my step trying to get home.
Yeah.
Looking back, I'm hearing cars, I'm ready,
100%.
like, twist my head, like, and
100%.
it's weird, and like these are like cool, it's funny, but at the same time, like, it's the truth. Like, I won't be going out this late or come back this late from somewhere in Newham without a cab, without
100%.
like something there waiting for me to come home. Like, I'm checking the journey. Cool. As soon as I get off this train, the bus is there, or cool, the train's come to a stop. I'm ordering my cab now, walking slowly through the station. As soon as I've tapped out, I'm gone. Like, not looking back. I'm not doing certain things because, like, trouble can find you easily. Like, just from you staring too long at someone, and it could literally be a thing where, oh, I thought that was my boy. I'm here looking for my boy. Peep my head. What's this guy on? It's just long and stuff like that. Like, having to be street smart can really play on you because it's like, cool, I'm getting ready. I'm going to go meet my cousin. He lives in this area. I'm gonna go put this on, but the route that I'm going is looking shaky. Like, it's not the best option, but it's another thing. Cool. One, I need to go there. So my mind's racing. Even though I've got my earphones in, it's not on 100%. It's like halfway, so I could hear everything and stuff like that. Is like,
half time saying it on. It's just
yeah, it's
just
literally-
for the look.
yeah. Like,
Sorry to cut you, though, but I want to say, I feel that guys from London, ethnical men from London, you feel safer in another part of London in your own area. So I'll feel more calmer in Southeast or West London, and I'll feel safe in East London. Same with guys from Southeast or Southwest, they'll probably feel safer in East London or West London than Southwest. But it shouldn't be like that. You should feel all right in all areas of London.
But then, do you not think that's a false safety? Do you think that's because you can be from South and then someone could go to East and something might still happen to them?
Like you
but
said,
that's another thing, like in your second-hand trauma, because like you know what's going on in the East.
Yeah.
So you're already like worried about that, but you don't know what's going on in the South, North, West.
And-
So it's like when you get there, like, yeah, it's cool around there. I ain't heard nothing. But
and then
really and truly,
popping.
you could take a corner and then
But then that's what I'm saying. But in
Seems
reality,
popping. Popping.
it's like it could still happen though, right?
Exactly,
It's just
yeah,
because
exactly, yeah.
someone might assume that
You're someone. Like I've heard stories, guys got killed because mistaken identity. Young boys got killed because mistaken identity, and that's not nice. For a mum to leave their child over they thought it was someone else. Like as a parent, you have to go for a certain stage. If you live in London, we have to prepare your child for certain scenarios, or you have to prepare your child for certain areas, or you have to take your child to certain areas so they are familiar. They know their family in them areas, they know their friends in them areas, because you can't be your child every day, and you can't hold your child in the house every day. Because the more you do that, the second that child gets let out, he's going wild. He's going to every party, he's going to every area, he's going everywhere. And that's not good. There needs to be a balance, I feel like.
That's the thing, like you're saying, like it all goes down to like the mental sides of things. Like, for example, like we're saying, like we mentally feel safe in certain areas rather than our own. Like, is a cushion, like is a thing where cool, I know I could walk to this shop here without having to look over my shoulder if I'm hearing some type of loud noise. Like, it's a thing where if I'm seeing fireworks, for example, I'm like, like I'm still like ducking or seeing who's shooting them. Like, is it at someone or is it in the air? Do you get it? And it's like, you could go to other areas or outside London, for example, see fireworks. The first thing I'm going to do is look up in the sky, not down the road.
Sometimes, if it's fireworks or gunshots. Literally.
So just to start wrapping it up, like I've got one last question. With all of the stuff that's happening, so obviously that and all the other adversities that's going on in your lives and all of that stuff, how do you guys cope with everything that's going on? Or what advice would you give someone else to cope with it? What do you think the best way is? So just going back to the World Cup thing, for example, if Saka said, you know what, because of all of the like racial slurs and all of the, criticism that they got from that, you could have been like, you know what, I'm not going to play no more or whatever. You could have given in. So obviously you had a certain coping mechanism or strategy.
Because I feel like, see that situation in person, yeah, Saka's strong. Because the way society works and social media works out, yeah, blog pages and other platforms play a part in it as well. Because they easily could delete the post. They easily could delete the comments. They pick and choose when to. If Saka now turn around and said to himself, or God forbid he committed suicide, or an athlete committed suicide, who's now to blame? Because you can't blame someone or 800 people for it. So who will be blamed? And then everyone's trying to play devil's advocate and cry on everyone's shoulder. But there were the exact same guys that were giving the hate. I feel like some people are sharp. If you're not willing to put yourself in that person's predicament and shoes, shut up. Simple as, personally.
Like, even with that, like another like coping mechanism uses like just find something that brings you peace, whether that's going gym, going out to the park, feeding ducks, playing games, PS4, or just like I said, like it could be being surrounded by people like you like the man them, or a little getaway, just do it, like, or explore, like just try new things, whether thinking of that holiday, bro, you've got a week, just book for 2 days, just go away, like just get out of the area, just have a little cleanse.
I did that. Me and my friend.
Yeah.
Got bored, went to Italy for the day. Literally just got up and left. Best time of my life. We didn't even do nothing in Italy. We didn't do a single thing. We got food and we drove scooters around the town and we come back to London. When I come back, it was raining. The second I come back, my mood dropped. When I was in Italy, my phone was off, fresh air, the weather was nice. Like, people need to start actually doing things, like not doing things in life, but taking that leap of faith and just go on, I think. Yeah, but
Can I just say something to round it up? And it's basically it's just a quote actually from one of my favourite mental health advocates, and it is, we all have our own story, and if we share our stories, the shame dies. And I feel like that's what we've done today, and basically just kind of broadening on for that. So we all family members who have been sectioned, who've died by suicide, brothers, sisters, parents, aunties, uncles, and friends. We all have family members who've been abused or gone through divorce and separation. But if we all talk about it in a safe space, that shame dies, because, you know, people don't know your name. They know your name, excuse me, but they don't know your story, and it's good to share your story, but you can share it in a safe space.
Amen. Anyways, guys, that's been episode 2 of You Know My Name But Not My Story. Thank you for watching. I've been Ozzy. This has been
Jaden.
and
Kaden.
also
Patrick.
cool. See you guys soon.
See you soon.
See you soon.